Okay, Sairam Kalani. Did we read this one or?
We didn't read this one last time.
Okay, then why don't you read it?
It is possible to superimpose the characteristics and the qualities which are present in nature on Atman. Atma on its own is distinct from these qualities. So the qualities have their independence only in the kingdom of nature. Thereafter, they have no authority. They cannot reach the state of the Atma. Needles which are in the proximity of a magnet will move. So the doership does not exist for the magnet. In the same way, in the proximity of the consciousness of the Atma, the senses are able to do their own jobs. When the sun rises, the birds rise and fly. The flowers blossom. The white water lily, Kumuda, closes. Human beings will proceed to do their respective jobs. Marshy land becomes hard by losing its moisture. For all these, is the sun the doer? No, he is only an eyewitness. In reality, Atma is transcendental and is not at all bound by characteristics of the senses. Can you still do the Telugu, Uncle?
Okay, so I will read the Telugu. ప్రకృతిలో నున్న గుణధర్మాలను ఆత్మయన్ ఆరోపించుట కూడను కద్దు. That means the qualities which are in the prakriti or in nature and the dharma of the gunas also, guna dharmas, it's possible that we superimpose it on Atma. It's also possible. Okay. Atma స్వయముగా ఈ గుణ ధర్మములకు విలక్షణం. So Atma on its own is beyond the qualities of these guna dharmas or the characteristics of dharma of the qualities of gunas. గుణములకు ఒక ప్రకృతి రాజ్యమందు మాత్రమే స్వాతంత్ర్యము. For the gunas, the only place where they can exert influence or they rule over is prakriti or the nature alone. దాని తరువాత వాటికి అధికారము లేదు. Beyond that or after that, there is no influence or rulership for the gunas. ఆత్మస్థానమును చేరలేవు. They cannot reach the state of the Atman. అయస్కాంత సన్నిధ్యంచే సూదులు కదులును. In the proximity of the magnet, the needles will move around. కానీ అకర్తృత్వము అయస్కాంతమునకు లేదు. But the magnet does not have doership over that. అటులనే ఆత్మ చైతన్య సన్నిధమునే ఆయా ఇంద్రములు తమ తమ పనులు తాము చేయును. In the same way, the presence of Atma, the Indriyas do their own work. సూర్యోదయము కాగానే పక్షులు లేచిపోవును, పుష్పములు విచ్చును. When the sun rises, the birds wake up and fly away, and the flowers blossom. కలువులు ముకులించును. So the night lilies close. మానవులు వారి వారి పనుల కొలది వారు వెల్లుదురు. Human beings move about to do their own work. బురద అందులోని నీటిని వీడి గట్టిపడును. So the marshy land becomes hard by losing its moisture. అన్నింటికి సూర్యుడు కర్త కాదు కదా. For all this, isn't the sun not, the sun is not the doer, isn't it? అధ్యక్షుడు మాత్రమే. He is just the overseer, witnesses that. నిజానికి ఆత్మ అతీతమైనదే కాని ఇంద్రియ ధర్మాలకేమాత్రము తాను కట్టుపడదు అన్నాడు కృష్ణుడు. So Krishna said, the same way, the Atma, it's beyond the Indriyas, and it will not be bound by the Indriyas in any way. Thus Krishna said. Okay, so that's that. So Swami is, I think, saying, we always see without the Atman, the world will not function, but Atma is not the doer. I think this is something which Swami has spoken about again and again. And in this, Swami is again explaining it with the words from Krishna.
That sentence where it says Ayaskanta Sanidhya Muche.
Yeah, Atantya. Ayaskanta means magnet.
Right.
Sannidhi means its presence, its divine presence, if you want to put it. Okay. Sannidhyamuche, Sudulu means pins or needles. Kadulunu, they move. Okay. Kani, akartritvamu, actually Kani, akartritvamu, askantamunaku ledu. But that doership is not present for the magnet. That means the magnet doesn't intend to move the things around. Then the same way Swami is giving the example of the sun. The sun doesn't want to, it's not trying to make the flowers blossom. The flowers blossom on their own when the sun rises. It doesn't try to wake up the birds and make them fly, but the birds wake up and fly as soon as the sun rises. And Swami has used the word Adhyaksha. Adhyaksha means someone like a supervisor, someone who oversees, or he's just a witness who observes. I think the observer is a better term. The sun is just the observer of all things which are happening. And just the fact that I think it's something like a catalyst. So Atma is also just a catalyst. And things just happen.
So God, in the presence of Atma, consciousness, everything in Prakriti functions because of its proximity to Atma. But God, in a way, does not have any goal or anything, right? Like he doesn't want anything, or it does. So everything just happens, I guess.
Yes.
For some reason, for no reason.
I think there is a reason. The natural laws operate, I think. Just the way the electricity doesn't, because of its presence, the lights come on, anything which is plugged in will work. But the electricity itself is indifferent to whatever people use it for. But it has a utility value. Without electricity, nothing will function, but the electricity doesn't want things to happen in any way. I think it's the same thing. But then you can ask, how do things happen? I think the natural law, if the bulb comes on, light comes, emits light, it's a natural law, but it's connected to the electricity, source of electricity, the light will come on. If you take it off, it will not work. Neither the bulb nor the electricity is affected by it. It is only us who are dependent on these two will be affected by it. So ultimately, it is us who decide anything to happen. But in the eyes of the Lord, there is neither good nor bad. It is just that's the natural law, which is in operation. I think that's the way I understand.
Like even like Swami obviously wants us to do certain things, or to purify our mind and to do sadhana. So is that like at a different level, like when Swami's?
See, Swami is actually, indifferent to what we do or what we don't do. But the thing is, the reason why he tells us something is we are all in the quest for something. And what we are trying to do will not result in what we want to achieve. Because of that, we are all troubled. We all, sad or disappointed, depressed, or whatever. And that agitation is something which we ourselves don't want. So the Lord is only helping that process. He will say, oh, you agitated. If you do this, this will happen. If you don't do that, that will happen. So he's just helping us, freeing us from the trouble which we are causing to ourselves. That's all. So that's why there's no avatar for the birds and animals. The birds are born, they live their life and they die. And they are not troubled the way we are troubled. And they don't accumulate more than what they need. They just eat when they're hungry and they're content. But we are not. So because we are troubled, the disease which we are suffering from needs to be cured. And that's the only reason Swami tells us what we should do and what we should not do. So that is the way we can save ourselves from the trouble which we have caused ourselves. That's the way I understand. But if we do not want to help ourselves, he will say, okay, no problem. I have done my part. I've done my part.
Because that we are looking for his help. That's what he said, those things. If we don't, that's like an animals, like you said, and they are just looking for food and shelter. That's all. They don't want more than that. But we also we get into so many things, and then we put trouble ourselves, and then we're looking for help.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it is good. It is a nice way to put that the example Swami put it here, that the sun and we are there or not, it's there. But it doesn't have any intention to wake us up or move us thing. But we just see our sun is there. We do, because we're getting used to for that. Okay, we need to do this, get ready, do that, this. It's beautiful that Swami very nicely explained these things, Saira.
Yes, yes, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Very nice.
Sairam, brother.
Yes.
Sometimes some people might think Atma is the one enjoying everything because it is the one giving the energy and everything. But we have to understand Atma doesn't have any qualities. It's like a sun giving that energy, but sun doesn't depend on any of those items. Same way, Atma is giving the energy up to you to liberate yourself. That's what the God came and taught us so many things to realize the Atma. Thank you, brother Sairam.
Siren.
Like the needles are how they're attracted to the magnet. I guess so all of Prakriti is attracted to Atma is in that way. But
I think so. That's also true. Yes.
so I can see that that's where we would get this yearning or feeling of love for God. But I've heard, that Swami also, that God also has a yearning for the devotee. Like, is that, but then when we think of God as the son, very indifferent and
The God, see, only when there's a devotee, there's God. Okay. When there's a devotee, there's God. Otherwise, there's no God. God doesn't independently exist. So then you can ask, then who is the devotee? It is like, one has lost something which one has and is trying to find oneself. So there is that looking for, yes, I think so. Everything in this world looks for something to become whole. Okay. So in that sense, the devotee and the Lord are just two halves, who naturally are, that's also a natural law, seeking to find where one has. So that's what Swami says, you go back to the place where you came from. So in that sense, it's like, if a child leaves home, the mother waits for the child to come back. Okay, so it's something of that nature. But I think your question is, the Lord doesn't have attachment. Then why is he looking for the devotee? See, it is, I think it's common. Everyone in this world, human beings, are always looking for someone with whom you can share. Otherwise, you can have ekanta vasam. But you should understand ekanta vasam means also you are only looking for one thing, not for many. The one who is in solitude is actually communing with that one. That one is God. So that means you have connected back to yourself. So now you feel whole. Again, God is not outside. It is your own inner self with which you feel disconnected. So that is also pulling you. You are also looking for it. The Jivatma, it's trying to find itself. So I think from that sense. But it is not sad that, you have not. So it is the feeling of emotions come only for the Jivatma. Okay. That is our own confused self is the one which is confused until we find it. I think it's a very, I think at some point the mental descriptions vanish. You can't.
Brother, but what is then this sentence means to you? In the same way, in the proximity of consciousness of Atma, the senses are able to do their own job. They are not depends on the conscious. You think with that only the senses will do? No, senses are able to do their own job.
Where are they getting the energy from, sister? The power. The senses are able to see.
Senses are able to see. That is the body-mind conscious. Body and mind is not Atma, right?
Yeah, the mind cannot function without Atman. The body also cannot function without the Atman.
Okay.
The body is
Whatever,
functioning.
okay, whatever the decision, whatever, how we perceive is up to the mind. But, okay. Whatever we perceive.
The
Okay.
energy comes from the Lord.
From Atma, yes. That is the
Yes.
spirit. Okay.
That's why when the Atma leaves, the body is just flat.
Spirit. Okay.
Okay, when the Atma is present, the body gets up and walks.
Yes.
Otherwise, it becomes Shava.
Yes.
Because of Atma, that the body is functioning. If but like the senses are independent, they just think it's working their own. It's not, but it's without Atma, that wouldn't happen either, right? But Atma didn't direct them to do anything.
Yeah, it's just the proximity only. Then the senses able to do the job, but senses can do the job, but how it's doing and perceiving is all up to the mind. Okay. Good. Thank you. Kalyani Amma, you know how you have displayed the screen? It
Yes,
shows
Auntie.
up all the drawn, not like the PowerPoint.
I will put it this
Sometimes-
way.
Okay. This is okay. Good. Thank you.
So just the way, I mean, when the sun rises, that all these things happen in accordance with natural laws. So you can't blame or praise the birds for flying or the flowers for blossoming or the. So in the same way, you can't really praise or blame anyone for the actions that they do, for the way their mind thinks,
No.
really.
No, not really. See, but the thing is, that's why if it does, if it does not, because only the whole thing is only when it affects us that we get upset. Okay.
Yes.
So, affects what we want to do, it affects us. Okay. In the ultimate analysis, there's nothing to do. So I think that's why Swami says, if it does not serve you, just stay away. We can't change people. We can't fix people. We can't say, oh, you are doing something wrong. Even that is, it's only in relation to what we want. Okay. We may say it is good for the society. Even actually here, there's so much debate going on about anything because we think the society has to function in this way. And if anyone is not agreeing, then we will say, you had to do something like, we had to put a stop to that. But what happens is in the society, these things happen. Laws are imposed because people want the way they want to live. No disruptions to that to take place. Okay. So even the person who is doing something wrong, even the person who is punishing them, both are doing what feels right to them. But the thing is, Swami would say, if you have to punish somebody, but don't have anger in you. If you want to say something to somebody, just do it. But don't have any negative feeling. So that's why Krishna is telling Krishna, kill them. Okay. But he says adveshta, without dvesham. Because you think, see, it is like cutting vegetables. You have to cook. You cut the vegetable. You are not cutting the vegetable with anger. You cut the vegetables, put them, cook, and eat. While doing that, you try not to harm anyone. You don't try to cause pain. And if you think you are causing pain, then you offer it to the Lord. You say, I'm doing this for the benefit of the world, for benefit of myself, so that I can keep my body right. And then you wish, even whatever gives you that they also reach the Lord. That type of feeling. So ultimately, all actions are good. They're neither good nor bad. Sorry. All actions in this world are neither good nor bad. But your own reactions mental and your experience, that has to be purified. That has to be purified. So the thing is, if you are doing something, if, for example, you are doing some work and your child comes in between, you'll say, go away. Or sometimes you can get irritated, but we should not have irritation. It's that kind of a thing. So we have to just do things in a very objective manner. What needs to be done, just do it, but not have any negative feelings festering in ourselves. It should not be unhappiness, sorrow, anger, jealousy, hatred. These should not be in our head. But what has to be done, we just do it and move on. So that's why the whole thing is taught on the war field by Krishna. Arjuna is just going to kill people left, right, and center. But he says, do it without hating them. Do it without anger. Do it without jealousy. And on the other side, don't feel sad that your people have died. That's also not right. It's just like when the birds are flying, you are not sad. Just the way this Atma has flown away from the body. So that is the way Krishna is teaching. So that we live this life just witnessing every event as another event. It's a part of the divine play, part of natural law. But we don't think like that, no. We are troubled by things. So Swami is only helping us remove being troubled by anything which happens. So it's very... Yes, Brother Dasan.
Yes, Sairam, brother. That's what we studied before. The best example is our body is the chariot, and the self is the Atma as a master. The intellect is the charioteer, and reins are the mind, and all the horses are the senses. Horses, the objects are the path. So whoever can control their mind, and they can realize the Atma. But when we go to the temple, the chariot day, people don't look at the main murti inside the chariot. They look other stuff. That's what is happening here in the world. Nobody look at inside. Thank you, Brother Sairam.
So if the whole purpose is to just sort of be fully present in the moment and not react in any way and just accept events as they happen, it's almost like the animals, the plants, they do that better than we do. In a sense, they don't.
Exactly.
So why are we considered a more evolved or like one of the, Jantunam Nara Janma Durlabham, all of them?
Yeah, so because not only, first of all, we have to live like animals, live for the moment. Then in addition, human beings have the ability to express love, compassion, joy. That is the ability, additional ability human beings have. Okay. But the thing is, we are not even being able to live the way animals live, which is very detached to some extent. They are also attached, but they don't dwell and worry and things like that. But the human beings have the additional quality, which Swami will say that is the human quality. The human quality of compassion, karuna. That's the only thing which separates us from animals. Okay, that compassion and love.
Brother, is that nowadays you are seeing these videos and things that animal shows a lot of compassion and love towards a human. Is it the discrimination power is make the difference between the human and animal, how to see things, kind of. I'm just thinking when that we have animal qualities within us, taking out and reach to the Lord, that power is given to humans to realize than the animal, kind of, I'm thinking.
See, not all animals show the same level of compassion.
That's true.
Okay, not all animals.
Pet.
Which
Pet
means
considered be like a something
so
you learn from human, kind of like, yeah,
when you slide down,
yeah.
you take some good qualities with you. If human beings slide down into an animal life, some of the qualities which they developed before comes into being even as an animal when you're born.
Oh, yes, yes. I got it. Thank you.
Interesting.
Because the belief is human beings can also slide down to be other animals,
Yes.
plants, birds, and so on. But when you go down like that, some of the qualities will come there also. That is why, so that is the belief.
Okay, okay, I got it. Thank you.
Thank you, sister, for that question. My mind also thinking when I saw those kind of some of the animals, good quality, I was wondering how even better than the human. And that was a good answer. It was. Thank you, brother, to that answer that question. Yeah, it's interesting.
It's called yoga brashta. That is, we can slide down the chain
Yes, yes.
sometimes because of some mistake, something. It's like if you remember the Jadabharata story, I will always go back to that. Jadabharata was a great yogi. Okay, then he was born as a deer in this next life. So it's a yogi in the form of a deer. That's the way he would have lived. So it would have been a yogic deer. It would have been even doing japam and it may have been thinking of the Lord. That is, sometimes anyone can slide down. But when you slide down, some of the good qualities which you have cultivated will never be lost. That's my understanding. Like Sai Geetha was a great devotee. Not all elephants are Sai Geethas.
Yes, yes, yes.
They are exceptions. They are exceptions. And even the animals which come and live with people, pets, they are nothing but pitris, their own, some relative. People don't realize that.
Oh, good to know, brother. Something
Yeah, yeah.
That's why all domestic animals are generally treated as family. That's why people don't, even in the West, their pets, they will treat them differently than any other animal. So because of that rina with them, there's an attachment which has come from past life. So they're considered part of the family. Okay, so I hope that answers you. Yeah, I know it's that's why in Sanatana Dharma, like if you do Shraddham and all that, when you past people have your ancestors, you're doing any worship annually and things like that. First thing you do is you go and leave some food for birds. So anyway, because it's a side story, but I will say this anyway. See, the story of Daksha, I think because not too many people, so I will just spend some storytelling time. See, Daksha, all of you know Daksha. Daksha did this yajna of where he said we didn't invite Shiva, and he did yajna. So he invited everyone. Everyone was present except Shiva and Parvati. Okay, and when Shiva found out, and Parvati went and she immolated herself. Then all the Bhuta Ganas, the Ganas, Shiva Ganas came and destroyed the yajna. So apparently when they came, the first thing they did was they locked up the doors of the Yajnashala so that no one can escape. And then they dealt punishment for everyone. All the rishis, all the things like that. There are stories like this. So, Agni was hit, and after that, Agni couldn't hear clear. He lost his hearing. The sun was, hit, and all his teeth fell out. So, sun is considered someone who doesn't have teeth. Then apparently lots of Pitrus were there, and they didn't know what to do. So they all took the form of black birds and flew away through the sky to the sky because the doors were closed. So it's a belief, Krishna color, Krishna Pakshi means black birds are a natural form for all Pitrus. All your ancestors who couldn't, who were not doing yajna and yaga properly, they would have taken the form of black color birds. So that's why crows are given food as first thing in any of our traditional rituals. So they are also considered Pitrus. So then we go and leave it on the street side so the animals can eat. So the belief is our Pitrus can be in any form due to whatever it is, but we have to look after them. We have to treat them with love and affection because whatever said and done, they have done something for us. That's why we are born, So our ancestors are remembered with gratitude in whichever form they have, whatever good they have done or not, they will all be given some share in what we have. That's why they are supposed to invite all relatives, whether you like them, don't like them, you're fought with them or you're friendly with them, for any functions and feed them. Because you owe something or other to them also. And so that's the belief. Okay, so Pitrus can be in any form.
There is significance for Agni losing his hearing and the sun losing his teeth.
In these Puranic stories,
Yes.
Have some more inner significance, but I listened to this. I have not done much
But
research.
please, tell us what is that also, please.
The thing is, from what I understand, what it basically means, if your body is the heat in the body is very high, the fire principle in the body is high, our hearing will be the first one which will be affected. Many people lose their teeth. That means the solar energy in their body is very high. So that's the way people are treated also. Because all these principles are within us. In each of us, all these principles are present in some form, some energy. Okay. But if somebody's heat is not contained in the body properly, in Tamil, they will say Mula Chudu or something like that, So if general body is heated body, if that is not contained, the person can lose their hearing prematurely. Age also, things happen. But prematurely, a person can become deaf. The person may lose their teeth easily if the solar principle is, that's what sun also can heat. Okay, so certain nadis are functioning excessively, that can happen. So these things, so the things for all this we should understand, if we pray to Lord Shiva in the proper way, according to the laid down Dharma Shastra, you will be in the prime health. But if you try to do something which is outside what is prescribed in the Shastras, you can get into some difficult things. That's what it means. Okay, so these are some, actually, so many of these treatments, in Ayurveda and all, develop based on the stories. So sometimes these stories explain certain principles for us to understand how to go about living our life. But ultimately, what it boils down to is, if you follow and live a life which is as per prescribed in the Shastras, none of these things should affect you. And if they are affecting you, that means you have not done something which you should have done. That way also you can take. So there are many different ways you can treat it. So I hope that's okay. These pranic stories actually explain to us in a very vivid way what we can to learn. So even this birds flew away means Pitrus who were not doing, they took part in adharmic activities of some nature due to peer pressure. Because Daksha asked, they were scared of Daksha, so they took part. So if they did engage in adharmic activities due to peer pressure, then there's a potential that they may be born in such forms. Okay, that is the belief. So, but if you follow the dharma, follow what is prescribed, and live your life as a sacrifice, then you will go to what's called Brahma Loka. So I think Swami has already talked about, the lunar path, the solar path, and all that. When a person dies, where they go, what they do, and things like that. But Swami didn't go into detail in the Geetha Vahini, but some of these are explained in things like Garuda Puranam and other Puranas. Okay, so the moral of the story is, follow dharma as prescribed, lead a life thinking of the Lord all times, never neglect the Lord, give him his share of your time and resources, and then everything is fine. I hope that's okay. I hope. Sorry.
When it comes to this idea of God as love, like on this, earth, we can see, how there's, some emotion or some experience of love, like between humans or animals. But when we think of like this vast, like universe that's so expansive, that's beyond just this one planet, and that's been for billions of years, even on this planet, life existed without humans. So like in all this, like just when you think of that space, like it just seems so, like where's love? Like how's love there in these planets and stars and things like that?
I think it's in Swami. I think there's a nice discourse, Swami, if I can find it, where Swami is telling of the Ayaskantam. That's what Swami says. Everything in this world is a magnet. Even two molecules, atoms, form a molecule because of that. So that's that energy which brings things together is love, magnetic manifestation of that love. That's the way Swami says. Okay, but there may be no feeling. There's no heart. I think that's your question. The heart is another level of experience of that love. Swami will say, if a person is attracted to another person, that is also that love in its pristine form. But then what happens? People get attached, and their selfishness, possessiveness, all this comes into being. That is the problem. Swami says love is like a rose, but the problem is attachment in the form of thorn comes in. And sometimes we look at the thorn and think that is love. No, thorn is thorn, the flower is love. So the thing is, it is natural for anyone to be happy seeing anything else in this world, feel attracted feel drawn, I think more than attracted, drawn by things which are positive in this world. Whether it's animals, whether it's human beings, it's very, very natural. We look at the fruit and we are attracted to the fruit because we want to eat, we want to taste it. But nothing wrong with that. That is the love part. But then attachment creeps in. Says, I want it for myself. I don't want to share this fruit with others. Things like that comes in. So the first part, so everything in love, even in human love, there's a divine aspect and there is an attachment aspect. Swami will say you have to separate both and let not the thorn affect the love. So I think that is the challenge. So love, but a real devotee will look at anything in this world and see divine love there. If a scientist looks at two atoms coming together, then he will see love there. So it is possible. We can look at the trees and the birds and feel love. That's why nature is a very place where we experience that love without sense of attachment. Wonder, I would say, put it better. So it exists. But that's why Swami will say people have not understood the word love also. We confuse it with attachment. And I will ask anyone else to share their thoughts. I seem to be doing most of the talking.
Even that, like the gravitational forces, like the attraction between planets and stars, all of that is that love. So even our body being held together by all these different forces,
that's nothing but Atma. Because the Atma is present, everything is attracted to everything else. That's why Swami used the word magnet as an example. The sun is a bigger magnet. He's holding the entire planet. Okay, that's love from the sun.
Brother. Other example is the garland too.
Garland, brother?
The garland, all the petals are connected to the main string.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, I think, can we move on? Or?
sorry. One other question, Uncle. The first sentence is saying it's possible to superimpose the characteristics of nature onto Atman.
Yes.
So I thought there was one part in the Gita where it's saying if you superimpose the qualities of nature onto Atman, then it's like an asuri quality, something like that, like Devi and Asuri.
Where is it? The Gita?
I will have to find it. Yes.
Okay, I can't remember.
Is this sentence
superimposing human qualities on God is asuric tendency?
Yes.
Yeah. So that means you ultimately you don't know what is right, what is wrong. Okay, what belongs to what and what doesn't belong to something. I think that's, see, you should understand Div means to light. So Deva means that which is effulgent, it emits light. So it sees things as they are.
Oh,
Okay, the word even Veda comes from the Div only.
Oh.
Deva and Veda are connected.
Oh.
One is the light, through that light you know.
Oh.
Okay. So the thing is, that which does not have light is asuric. So that does not have, cannot see what, it cannot discern what is what. Okay. When you don't know what should be done, what is not to be done, then you are asuric. You're not informed by the Shastras. Because of light of knowledge is absent. So that is what it is. So in this case, so you superimpose something means you are not seeing things clearly. Okay, it's like seeing the sun in the water which is, moving, and think the sun is moving. Okay, so that's what Swami is saying. So you will think, oh, the sun is moving about. No, but we are looking at the sun in the water, and we attribute that quality of moving to the sun. So we don't know what is sun, whether we are looking at the real sun or we are looking at its reflection.
Oh, okay.
So I think something like that.
So it's like when we superimpose a snake onto the rope. So that is ignorance, what we're doing then in that case.
That is asuric. Okay, that's.
But when we put in qualities like a God who is loving, who's compassionate, or those kind of qualities, if we superimpose that on the Atman, is that also ignorance?
I think we have already covered that it's Vidya Maya,
Okay.
which doesn't exist, but it's beneficial.
Okay, good.
Okay, because it's beneficial because they become symbols which direct our nimit. They sort of point you the way. Padana or whatever. I think what's the term?
The Chandra Shaka, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. You say next to the branch you can see the moon. Type of thing. But moon is somewhere and branch is somewhere else. But it helps you point towards the moon. So they all help us point towards that. That's the only advantage. To raise ourselves from animal quality, I think that's.
So, Saram brother, so Asuric and Devas, the same Atma. So only way we are differentiating whatever you said is the knowledge, how they behave. Thank you, brother.
Yes, brother. Yes, the qualities which,
Quality. Yeah.
Tamas, Rajas, and Sattva. That's the Padyam. Tamasam Viviraka.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Is it good now? I think we can move on.
Why, even the senses operate, they are prompted by the presence of Atma. When the sun rises, birds take to wing, flowers bloom, the human community starts its varied activities. The sun does not directly engage in any of these. It is the prompter, that is all. The sun is not the cause. He is just the activator, the witness, the onlooker. He is above and beyond all this. He is not bound or based on man or beast or bird or flower. Birds fly in the sky, but they do not leave any trace behind of their path of flight. So too, however many sensory impressions fly through the inner sky of the heart, no impression should be left thereon. The heart is not affected by their flying through. Man sees only the superstructure, not the basis. In the garland, no one observes the string that keeps the flowers together. The existence of this string can be known only by investigation and inquiry. The basis is the string. The flowers depend upon it and hang together on account of it as a garland.
I think I'll read the Telugu. I think some of it we have already read. So I will just Pakshulu Chudu. Look at the birds. Akashamuna Yenni Vidamulagano Paraduchundunu. So the birds, look at the sky. There are many birds in many different ways. They are moving about, flying about. Yeguruchundunu. They rise up and down. You can say. Akashamuna ye జాడయు పడుట లేదు. So there is absolutely no impressions left on the sky. అటులనే హృదయాకాశమున, in the same way, in the space of your heart or sky of your heart, ఇంద్రియములను పక్షులు ఎంత తిరుగునను దానిలో జాడలు పడవు. The same way, however, the indriyas, which are the birds which fly in the space of heart, how much ever they fly, whichever way, there will not be anything left, no trace left on the heart. వాటి సంచారమునకు హృదయమునకు ఏలాంటి సంబంధము ఉండదు. So for their movements and the heart, there's absolutely no relationship, no association. అన్నింటికి ఆధారమైనదే ఆత్మ కాని ఆధేయమైనది కాదు. The heart is only the basis, but that's not that which dependent on it. You should not confuse with that which is supported.
So the heart is only the basis, and you should not confuse it
With the adeya. Adeya is that which is supported. Heart is a supporter, not the supported. It's not the basis, it is not the structure on it. Oh, but the translation is slightly different. See, అన్నింటికి ఆధారమైనదే ఆత్మ కాని. Okay, so it's the other way. It's okay, but man sees only the superstructure, not the basis. So what Swami is saying is, the basis is Atma, not the superstructure. Okay, then I will read the next. There's more. అయితే మానవులు ఆదేయమే చూతురు. But human beings only see the structure on top. ఆధారమును యోచించరు, విచారించరు. But they do not think about the basis, support, or they do not inquire about it. Then Swami said, ఎటులన పూల మాలయందు అన్ని పుష్పములకు దారమాధారమై ఉన్నది. Swami is giving an example. How it is like the flowers which are part of a garland. For those flowers which are in the garland, the thread beneath is the support. అది లేక పుష్పములు హారములుగా కానేరవు. Without the string beneath, the flowers cannot become the garland. కానీ పుష్పములని ప్రధానముగా చూతురు. But people only look at the flowers predominantly. కనిపించునది కూడాను పుష్పములు. What are seen are also the flowers. ఆధారమైన దారము విచారణతో తప్ప సహజముగా అది కనిపించదు. So the basis, which is a string, can only be known through inquiry, but cannot be known naturally, nor will it be seen. దీనితో పోల్చిన ఆధారములో ఆదేయములైన పుష్పములన్నవి కాని ఆధారమైన దారములో ఆదేయమైన పుష్పములు లేవు. So Swami saying, if you understand from this, in the basis ఆధారములో ఆదేయములైన, so in the basis of the string, the flowers which are dependent on it exist. They are present. ఆధారమైన దారములో ఆదేయమైన పుష్పములు లేవు. So in the thread which is the basis, the flowers don't flowers are not present. I don't know whether you understood my translation. Swami says the flowers are dependent on the basis, which is the string. But strings are not present in the thread. Sorry, the flowers are not present in the string. Sorry. So you cannot see it. It lives. It is independent. The thread is independent. Just because the flowers have come on the thread and made the flowers are so dependent on the. They are present only because of the string. Okay, but thread doesn't depend on the flowers, nor it doesn't have any need for flowers by itself. Swami is giving various examples to explain.
Sairam, brother,
Yes.
you know how the bird flies and they don't leave the trace of their path?
Yes.
The heart also not to be affected, but you need to have the experience with you, right? That's what it means, right? Always. You learn.
See this one. No impression should be left thereon is, I don't think it's the right translation. Swami is saying, whatever the Indriyas do, there's no trace actually left in the heart. In the heart, nothing is left.
Heart, you shouldn't have it, but
no, heart, it is not left. Not you shouldn't have it. It is not. There's no impressions left in the heart.
What is Jadalu Pada?
Jada means mark.
Oh.
There's no footprint. Print, if you want to put it that way, Zero footprint on the heart. Whatever the senses do, actually there's zero footprint on the heart.
But something you have to remember to progress yourself, right? It's the experience or something. I'm just
so it's all left in the mind. The mind takes the impressions.
Okay, mind for the discrimination things they have to know, but you shouldn't keep it in your heart for any kind of other carry on with anything like that. To separate that out, right? One day you can live, you can live think like you forget about past, don't think about it, live in present. But it's not affected by their flying through. Not affected, but experience has to carry with us, kind of, I'm thinking. Because past experience always gives you to progress, to discriminate the right and good and progress, right? I don't know, until the last destination, the discrimination power need to work. Kind of, I'm thinking, because not to affect means something, I think something Swami is trying to tell.
See, I think another problem which we have is we confuse the mind with the heart.
Okay. That's what I'm so okay. Mind you will have it. Okay. So the discrimination power comes from them. Okay, thank you.
All that is in the mind. Heart is just like a sky. It's a witness.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
See, the whole problem for us is I think Atman is the body we think. Atman is the mind we think. Swami says it's actually beyond. So it's the same thing. Mind is not the heart.
Yes, that's true. Yes, thank you.
Swami used the word Hridaya.
Heart.
But generally we will say, I from my bottom of my heart and all that we will say, which actually comes only from the bottom of the mind. It has not reached the bottom of the heart. Okay. So in the heart, all feelings are pure. Swami will say the heart only contains one, daya. Compassion is the only thing which is present in the heart, hridaya. I think it's the same thing which we discussed a little earlier also. What is the difference between animals and human beings? We have the heart, which we can use, which is basically daya, compassion. That's why Swami has used the word hridaya here also. Nothing will leave the compassion. Actually, human compassion is actually beyond any mental discrimination also. That's why they will say love is blind. You know, the real love is blind. It does not differentiate between people. Differentiation comes only in the area of mind.
So Hridaya Kasha here, is it referring to the Atman? Like,
There are enough discourses, Swami, where he's talking about Hridaya as, you know, divinity, God.
Brother, I was reminded with that heart is not affected because you are saying about the love. So love all, it's supposed to be in your mind all the time.
No,
Yes, it is. So that is what heart is not supposed to be affected. With your any experience, that should not be affected.
what should not be affected?
Love for all.
Then what is normally affected?
Our mind.
That's all.
Yes.
You empty the mind, then the heart is in functioning.
The heart is
So as long as the mind is active, one cannot love all. When the all thoughts from the mind is, I think Swami has used the word amanaska sometime back, I think, no? Here. I don't know whether, Kalyani, did Swami use amanaska anywhere? Maybe not in the recent part. I don't know. I'm mixing up Vahinis, but see, when the mind is completely pure, I think there are three things. I think it has avarana, mala, so there are three impurities. One is it is not steady. One, it has a covering, and it has some blemishes. When all this is removed, mind becomes so transparent that heart, the love from heart can flow to everyone. So love always basically cleanse the mind. So the love which is already present in the heart, because of its proximity to the Lord, will flow. That's my understanding. So all impressions are left in the mind.
It's a good one. You shouldn't have a reason for not loving anything. Yes.
No reason for love, no season for love.
Yes, that's what I reminded myself.
So reason means buddhi also is removed. The Swami says narrow buddhi should be removed. Expansive buddhi should be there. Yes, brother Dasan brother is.
Yes, Sairam, brother. Here, I don't know whether right or wrong. The heart means Swami is mentioning about the Atma or what? Because anything we are doing through the five senses doesn't create any mark there, traces, or because it doesn't depend on anything. It's you think so, brother?
Yes, Swami is basically.
Heart mean, is it Swami saying about
Atma.
Atma or Atma? Yeah.
Atma.
Yes. Thank you, brother.
the sentence, Anintikini Adharamainade Atma Kani.
It's the basis for everything. It's a basis for everything. Support for everything.
So no matter like, what happens in our mano buddhi chittam ahamkaram, like however bad it may be, like it doesn't affect the hridaya in any way.
It will not affect. But I think the only way if at all anything is affected, what is in the heart cannot come out. There's a block.
The love won't flow.
Remove the block and
Yeah.
everything.
So anytime you say, okay, I love this because, if you add a because, then it's not love anymore. It's attachment.
Yes.
Because it's wrong. Because already the doubt is there. That's it.
See, that's why Swami is saying divinity is present in us. It is waiting to flow. It is just that remove all the hurdles and the blockages and it will flow. So all sadhana is just to remove Chitta Shuddhi, Atma Shuddhi. I think we have discussed that also. I think a little before we discussed it, Chitta Shuddhi or Atma Shuddhi, I can't remember.
I can't remember if it's here or the discourses. Or
We are studying too many things. So. So, that you asking the question, why Swami is telling us what to do? He's telling because just telling clean the mind. That's all. That's all he's telling, so that you find yourself in your heart. That's all he's saying.
So, well, brother, the last paragraph, first sentence, but the man see only the superstructure. Man see only. Why only? When? But people realize themselves as an Atma who can discriminate. That's man see only. I think only is not the word, right?
That's all. What, sister?
The man sees only. Cannot be see only the superstructure. The man is evolving towards the higher spirit, right? So they have that superstructure before, then they will move on. So man see only, no, I think that's
See what
translation.
Swami is saying, sister. When you use your external sensory perceptions, you can only see what is outside.
Oh, external, okay, sensory perceptions.
Seeing with your eyes.
Yeah, that is super. So
yeah. But if you use your inquiry power, investigation and inquiry, you can see the.
Oh, see, here the C's refer to the N3s.
Exactly.
Okay, the C's, okay, C is equal to N3s. So N3s see the superstructure. Exactly. But you have to lies to see.
Yes.
Yeah, man sees. Yeah.
Yes, Brother Sasan.
Yes, Saram, brother. That's what people seeing the whatever you said, whatever we can see it, but they don't look at the basis. The Atma is everywhere. They don't investigate. If we take the garland, the mainstream, if we take the charioteer, the main Murti, they don't look at not many people. So if we take the electricity, they look at the bulbs and everything, how they're illuminating. So they don't look at the electricity coming through the wire. So it's very difficult to see it from our own naked eye. Thank you, brother Saira.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Why I think Swami is just pointing out, because the people generally have a question about, does God exist? They will say, we cut open something and we can't see God. They can't see even emotions. If somebody says, I have, I feel happy, you really can't see happiness. So the only thing which they do now is, if somebody says, I'm happy, they will say which neurons in the brain are lighting up or something like that. And they will say, oh, when those light up, that is sensation of happiness. But even then, they are only seeing something, neuron or something being activated, but they really can't see happiness. Can you see electricity? You can't see electricity. Can you see magnetic force? You can't see magnetic force. But what you can see is the effect of magnetism, you can see, or the effect of electricity, you can see. So same way, what they're seeing is the effect of God, but they don't know how to perceive God, and that is the fundamental problem in science, because they are using indriyas and the mind to evaluate something which is an experiential reality. And as that is Swami says, through investigation and inquiry, you can infer something exists to support this. And so I think Swami is sort of alluding to that. So Atma can only be inquired and experienced. It cannot be sensory experience which can reveal you the Atman.
A good example, brother, Hiranyakasipu and Prahladan. Prahladan and told that God is everywhere, and Hiranyakasipu was looking for God.
Yes.
One of the reasons why I feel like it's hard to like love some people is because you feel, if you do spend time with, if you love them, if you give your time to them, then you feel negatively like impacted by them in some way. So like at the beginning, I guess at the beginning, you kind of narrow, I guess your love flows in these narrow streams towards people and things that you feel help you or benefit you. But I guess at some point you wouldn't be affected by anyone or anything or any negative person or negative circumstance. Is that the goal? Because I think in a way it's a protection, right? Like we try to protect ourselves from certain people. Or...
Yeah, I think it's a very good question. You say, how do we love someone whom we don't like? Let me put it simply, or somebody who is doing things which cannot be liked. Okay, so I think that's a challenge. And how do we love them? Okay, the reality is, if we can quell our mental reactions, then we love them. It's not that you have to go and hug them and do something. No, it is not needed. As soon as the mental agitations are all quelled, what is left is love. Without love, you cannot even quell the mental agitations. So if you look at it, once you are one with the Lord, mental agitations will be quelled and you will not even think about that person. Okay, that is love. So love in its purest form, it's not very active, gushing forth and, saying something. No, it is not love. That is all just drama. And the mind playing its tricks.
That's a drama queen.
Real love is not have any mental agitations, either positive or negative. It should see, generally excitement is considered love. No. Excitement is considered happiness. No. When mind is calm, fully calmed. There's absolutely no thought. What wells in everyone is just love.
Brother, repeat again, please. Thank you. Sorry about that. When
No,
your mind is calm, nothing on it.
then there is love present. Love is fully present.
Oh, yes. Because you are not agitated with anything.
Anything.
So you are in that mode. Yeah.
So then when you're not agitated by anything, your presence itself can be healing to even the person who is harming.
Like, for example, like there must have been like crazy people like who came to see Swami or, you know, like, or like who would, you know, try to maybe, you know,
Yeah,
I've heard that
they
people
would
like
have been
try,
criminals.
yes.
You name them, all kinds of people come, but he will, for him, it's okay.
But like also there he had some, you know, like he wouldn't see them, he wouldn't call them for an interview or like spend time with them or that.
Oh no, you should understand, just because he calls them for interview doesn't mean that he loves people. See, that is the biggest delusion we have. If Swami spoke to somebody, we think Swami loves that person and not somebody else. This is because we are using our ways of determining what is love with what Swami is doing. Swami may be talking to someone, you will think, why is he talking to this person? Okay. Just because Swami gave interview, just because Swami gave something to somebody, doesn't mean he's showing some extra love towards them. So he is not, you know. That's why sometimes it's inexplicable what he does. Okay. Just because Swami calls somebody for interview does not mean he loves them. And I think that we should be very clear. I'll ask Brother Dasan to say. Yes, Brother Dasan.
And yeah, but yeah, that's right, brother. Because if we take a frog, he's sitting on the top of the lotus leaf, it doesn't understand there's a nectar is there. Even though ant and flies all beside Swami, that means they are not, you know, even some people are same thing. Some people are beside even Swami, but some people far away, they get the grace, the people who get the grace. Doesn't matter who is near to them. But now we are looking at the physical thing, but we have to look at that heart to heart connection. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Brother Dasan. Yes, Auntie, I don't know, with Uncle
Sairam.
Gopalan. Yes,
Sairam.
Sairam.
I knew one old person, he's no more,
Yes.
and his family was totally devoted. His wife was totally devoted to Swami. And this man was in an old age home and he had a dream. So when we visited him, he told us, Swami came in his dream and told him, I don't know why I love you. So, thank you.
You know, Kalyan, yes, Sister Aruna.
Brother, I was just thinking, you know, the greatest gift from Swami, when you think of Swami, if your mind can calm down, or you can have your peace of mind, that's itself, I always believe that's the greatest gift of like you have earned something. Then sometime, you know, we are getting Swami's interview. I think ultimately you have to see your peace of mind where you are driving from. So everything Swami is giving in the interview or giving out these materialized things, ultimately for your peace of mind and to connect him. So even without that thinking of him, you are getting, if you are able to connect, that's itself is a gift, I think. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sister. Yeah, Kalyani, the best love from God is being able to think of Him.
Be able to think of him?
Yes.
Okay, yes, that's good.
If we can lovingly remember the Lord, that means the love from Him is fully flowing. That's all. Nothing else. And the more we can think of Him, the more close He is.
Mm.
That's all.
Yes, Sairam, brother. Everyone have their own experience, yeah. So within Swami and the person, that is the one bringing to the Swami, just closer to him, to love and make us to do the whatever the Swami like to do some works through us. Then we always think about Swami's teaching, you know, whatever we studied and everything, you know. Thank you, brother Saira.
Yeah. Just the
So
fact that we're able to read his words is because he loves us. That's all. Nothing. He has given this. See, he has given this to everyone. Now it's all up to us what we want to do. And if you're able to read and think of him, I think that itself is the greatest blessing.
We are so blessed to go through this Geetha. Not everyone get this opportunity, brother, in this world. And we spend a lot of time, but when I'm thinking, I didn't cut even one class. So that is my main goal too, because this is very, very a good opportunity. Because otherwise, the purpose of the life, if we don't study this kind of thing, whatever we sadhana, we did it, that's what we got this form, the human form. Then if we are not improving that whatever we had it, whatever even Swami came to us in this life, if we are not following, then there's no difference between the animal and us. That's the way I look at that one. Thank you, brother.
Yes, brother. Thank you, Saira.
So when it comes to loving all, so there's some people, if they've caused us something negative in the past, then we have this negative impression. When we think about seeing them again, it creates fear, negativity in us. So I guess the only way to love all is to really feel like you don't need to protect yourself at all. Like whatever happens, like even if they kill me, I should be okay with it. That kind of like you have to have that.
Mind is conjuring up all sorts of scenarios. That should stop. Tell the mind you be quiet. Whatever you see, sometimes we can imagine all sorts of scenarios. Nothing may happen. But just because we have thought that those things may happen also, self-fulfilling. So it is that if the mind is calm, it will not even think about all these things. Why it will not think about it is because it will think the Lord is with me. Why fear? Why fear? Why worry? Then there's love. As soon as we forget the Lord is there to protect us, then all problems, all hell breaks loose. We should not think, we should not have the memory. It should be removed, erased with the thought of God, and now leave everything to the Lord. And whatever happens, it's for the best because the Lord is the one who is in charge. Then you will not think about all scenarios. And what will I do if this person said that or he did that? It doesn't really matter. Any such thought is interference with love. Oh, I will accept. Who is accepting? Don't worry. Just think of the Lord. Even when somebody is hitting us, think of the Lord. Not about that person. When somebody screams at us, think of the Lord, not at that person. I think that's what we can do. Okay, sorry. Yes, Sister Maha, please.
Iron brother. So we all the time we are thinking about Swami. I think most of the time when we are in trouble, right? The more we get into trouble, we think about Swami, and everything is satisfied, we don't think about it. And so you're saying that it's Swami's blessing, because of his blessing, we are thinking about him. So that means he is giving us trouble to think about him.
Yes, sister. Yes.
Oh my God.
Until we learn the lesson, beatings will continue. Okay, we will close. I think it's 4:32. Okay. Anyway, happy Mother's Day for all the mothers who are here. We will see next week
Happy
again.
Mother's Day.
Sai Ram.
Happy Mother's Day.
ॐ समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः साई राम।